think everybody had a valid point. When I jumped on Instagram, like, you was literally reading my mind on everything that you was saying to the guy that just hung up. I guess my question would be is, do you think that he would give us a background of each friend? Meaning, like, how did they grow up?
TP?
Because, because a lot of times you could tell a lot from a person and how they deal with relationships and how they was raised.
Yep.
So, like, let's say, like, for example, you grew up with a 2-parent home and you saw how your dad treated your mama, and you like, oh my God, I love that. Like, I want that for myself. Then you also have a friend who didn't grow up in a 2-parent home. She grew up with her mama, and her mama didn't do nothing but bash men all day. So she picked up those habits. So I think with these type of women, I think it comes with generational baggage. Because the only person that you saw as far as like parent wise was Lisa. And like you say, she was the one who put Zac on to Chain Breakers. But she also gave him the blueprint on how to win her daughter. She was like, listen, you need to get your shit together. And you need to get together now, because my daughter likes X, Y, and Z. She done held it down for you. Yeah, you done been locked up and whatnot type of thing, but she done held it down. She done put up with all this stuff that she done put up with. Now it's time for you to get yourself together. If you really want to be with her, you got to show her. So when he started the chain breaker thing and he was finna get ready to leave, the atmosphere shifted. And it shifted because Fatima was there to lift anybody up that had been locked up. And it was like a brotherhood type of thing, and she was just like one of the counselors there, so to say, to say, okay, let's not think the way that we've been thinking, because just like I put in the chat, we got rear view mirrors in our car for a reason. Let's not look back to the old person that we used to be. Let's look forward to the new person that we're going to become, because it's something so much greater out there than what you got in your circumstances right now. Like, you could turn your circumstance around. You know, you don't have to stay in the same position. So as she was saying this to him, as she was saying it, those seeds was dropping. And something grew inside of him, but in his mind, he wasn't trying to get with Fatima right then and there. He wasn't checking her like that. He was like, well, okay, if you say so. So when he started working and everybody was like, man, he hustling. Like, he was there when everybody else went home. And she like, what the hell you doing here? He's like, man, I got to, because, you know, I done found my niche. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm more than a baggage claim dude that's taking people to they planes when they running late and stuff. I'm more than this. So as she was talking to him, the seed started to plant inside of him. I think when he got his check and he seen it, he wanted to stack his money up, because he was still chasing him behind Karen. And she wasn't hearing.
And also want to note that with Fatima dropping these gems, you're so right. It also was the perfect storm of his situation, because he was back and forth living with Danny. He ain't had nowhere to go. So he also like, I ain't gonna go home because I ain't got nowhere to go. And he planted seeds in Fatima mind of like, damn, this boy worked hard. But it's like, he worked hard, but then he also ain't got nowhere else to go to. Why not? All of this is creating a perfect storm for it. But go ahead.
Right. And so with that being said, I think that, you know, like I say, I think he was trying to get it right for her, because of the fact that her mama had stepped to him and told him, like, look, my dude, he, you know, he had something going on with his life. They came up with this thing to help people, because like on YouTube, when I was on there earlier, like somebody said, when you locked up, and depending on what your crime is, it's hard for you to get a job. I don't care if, you know what I'm saying, like, if you stole a 50-cent piece of candy, sometimes it's hard, depending on what state you in, it's hard to get a job when you've been known as a criminal. So when they came about this chain breaker thing, yeah, he was kind of skeptical. Like, man, I ain't trying to go back to jail. That's one thing I don't want to be at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm skeptical about this. But for her to come in and say, no, listen, I see something in you. That's just like talking to a child that just somebody has given up on that child. And you tell that child, like, look, I see something in you that you don't see in yourself. And the more and more you say that, the more and more that child starts to say, okay, if you believe in me, then I need to start believing in myself. And then everything else around me will change. Now that everything else around him has changed, she's starting to feel some kind of way. She like I set him up for somebody else to claim that.
Yep.
And I've been in that situation, but it just so happens that with my situation, I was the prize. And my ex-husband realized that, like, man, I was out there in those streets, I did what I did. I was at the clinic, you know what I'm saying? Cause you done look around and you done gave me something and stuff. And I'm like, okay, now why would you do that? I held you down, but then you stomp on my heart. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to teach you how to stunt one. And when I teach you how to stunt one, you're going to hate me. And that's what happened. You hated me. So fast forward, like, I married my husband down, and I've been with him 17 years. And it took that long time for him to be like, you know what? I messed up. Because the chick that I cheated with, I married her. She didn't want me. She told me straight out when you left that, you know what? I did what I set out to do, and that was to lure you my way. So once I lure you my way, I don't want you like that. And you shouldn't have let your wife leave. So it's like, it ain't nothing you can say or do now. So my husband that I have now, he has a baby mama. She was a Karen, just like I'm a Fatima. But the thing about it is, if you're strong and confident in what you got going on, can't no Karen shake or break that. So like you say, she's not a factor, you know what I'm saying, unless you make her a factor. And it's like my mom always said, as long as they don't put their hands on you, you can say what you want to say all day. He has showed you, and I don't think that it'll get to the point where she would go to them, will go to Fatima and say, listen, you cannot have Zac. Zac belongs to me. We done been together 3 years. I don't think that she can step to her like that. I don't care how big a badass she try to be with a gun, all that kind of stuff. She don't have that much bite in her bark to go to her and say these things, due to the simple fact that Zac has he's becoming his own man. And what's become territory to him is Fatima. And vice versa. They have become territorial to each other. So I don't think that he would even let her even get that far as to saying anything to her like that. Because check it, the other week when she said, listen, I'm gonna tell this chick that I'm pregnant. And he had already told her. He was like, listen, she pissed on a stick. And she said that, baby, man, hey, I don't know. But what I do know is, she said, okay, bet. We gonna go. She called me, wanted me to come. She said, but I'm gonna tell you like this right here. I'm finna go ahead and put on my street gear. Cause if it's a setup, I might can't fight all 4 of them, but I'm gonna take 2 of them down with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take 2 of them down with me. So he was like, damn, you so crazy. Like, I love this. Like, he loved the spiciness about her. He loves the sincerity about her. And all the things that Karen could have been, they was just not there. They was not there yet.
No, well, I wanna pause right here, because I think that this is what Karen is gonna be, but it takes this
growth.
It takes this. And I honestly, I don't know, like, you asked if we were going to get the girls' background and like how they were raised. I would love to see, which I think we're going to get with ZATIMA. Fatima's background, because I really believe that Fatima has had a Karen season. It takes it for you to get there. Like, I tell y'all all day that I resonate with Karen, but Erica right now is a Fatima.
She has. I mean, she told me, she was like, I get it. Like, even like I'll use myself as an example. Like with my husband that I have now, like we talk about it sometimes, and I laugh about it because he had a daughter and a wife, and they was divorced and stuff like that before I even came along. And I tried to be the nice one, like like whatever the child needed, like he just let me know and I'll help him. And she, every time and every opportunity she got, she was on the phone calling me all out my name, saying this and saying that. So I got smart. I said, listen, check this. Because at the time I didn't have no babies. I was like, when God gets ready to shake and quake my ovaries, hear me good. My babies ain't finna want for nothing. You the one who around him begging and seeking for bread. I'm not begging and seeking for nothing, because I know how to go out and get mine. Now, if you don't want your babies looking like no little scraggly muffins and stuff like that, you better get with the program. Because he could get with somebody who don't give a damn about you or your baby. You get what I'm saying? Now, with Fatima, like, hey, we gonna do what we need to do. If the baby need diapers, I'm gonna put him in check. I'm not gonna let him be no deadbeat daddy, because eventually I'm gonna want kids from him. And I need to see what kind of daddy he's gonna be to your child before I try to procreate with him. Because we're not having all these 5 or 6 baby mamas. You do for one and you don't do for the other. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do like the white people, not trying to talk about it, but we're gonna have a blended family. We're gonna eat some turkey. We're gonna eat some, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna play Scrabble on the weekend. We're gonna play Space. Whatever you want to do, we're gonna do, because we come as a family. We come as a package deal. But what you're not gonna do is get to talking outside your neck, thinking that you're the only one that's got a uterus and some ovaries. That's what you're not gonna do. Because I go across that river and adopt me some children. And yeah.
And honestly,
that's what we're doing.
If Karen goes down this route and Fatima got to take it there, then I'm going to be like, well, again, she got to deal with the consequences of X, Y, and Z. All of that is going to be the journey that is going to be to get to where y'all trying to go in reference to the blended, healthy family of it all. But right now, sis is in the thick of it. Yeah,
and it's interesting because, like I say, like, I don't think we all realize that when you speak on stuff, you speak things in the atmosphere. So if you always speaking negative things start to surround you. And I don't know how many of your viewers read the Bible, but the Bible says that there's power
in the
tongue. And not saying that Karen didn't go through that, because we all go through something. We all have violins playing. Zac go through something. We always, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know somebody like these people. But the thing about it is the way we talk to each other. You can talk to me and not at me. And that's their problem that they had. They talked at each other and not to each other. You yelling at me, I'm not going to hear nothing you saying.
Yep.
I'm filtering. Because for me, my trigger word is okay. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my trigger word. Like, okay. Because that's letting me know that, okay, you need to shut up. Because what you're saying is no longer an interest to me once you took your tone to another level. On none of these episodes have you ever seen them sit down and actually have a conversation with each other. The only time I think they probably sat down and actually had a decent conversation was when he got stabbed by old girl brother. When he came in and she was like, "Are you okay?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And he was like, "Well, who is this dude?" And all that kind of stuff. He said, "I'm just making sure you're okay." And then when the dude came in, he was like, "Dang, you really doing this?" Like, I done lost about 10 gallons of blood fooling him behind you, and you still chose, "Well, Zac, it ain't like that." Well, then you tell me what it is. Because I'm sitting up here bleeding. You tell me what it is.
And speaking to your point of like, you specifically know what your triggers are. We also watch them not actually know themselves enough to be able to communicate to one another. Hey, I need you to, because like, it's one thing for Zac to be like, I don't like all of how you're speaking to me. I'm triggered by this, this, and this. But he ain't say it to her in that way until it was too late for her to even understand and do anything about it.
Right.
And the same thing for Karen of like, have you articulated you don't like being cheated on, you don't want to, all of this stuff going on, but like, have y'all had a conversation of like, when you cheat on me, this, okay, specifically if you want to be with the person, because if you don't want to be with the person, then just go about your business.
Right.
But if you're choosing to accept and forgive somebody for it, then there's a conversation that needs to be had of like, when you do this specific action, this is how it makes me feel. This is where I go. And then he needs to have that conversation about what her words mean.
Right.
And that's how you actually move forward within a healthy relationship. But you're right. They hadn't had any real healthy conversation.
Yeah. Like I said last week, a lot of time, and I tell my nieces and I tell my cousins a lot of time, I'm learning as I grow, because I have three girls myself, and they all little. I have a 3-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 12-year-old. And I'm constantly telling them that you need to become a priority and not somebody's options. Meaning that it's one thing if we got this mutual understanding that all we gonna do is screw, like Danny and old boy. Mm-hmm. If we got this understanding that when I got an itch and I call you, you gonna come and scratch it. You know what I'm saying? And scratch it good. We got that understanding. But don't leave me on and you come slide in all the time and everything, and then you not telling me what is what and how it's gonna be. Because so now my heart has gotten into it. And my feelings are involved. And that's the same thing with Karen. Like you said, they didn't conversate enough. Every time you seen them, they was taking their clothes off. Like, for example, after she left the clinic, she was in there playing with herself. He laying on the sofa. Wait a minute, I hear that buzzing. And the batteries in the remote ain't here. So one thing, that was his red, that was his green light to come in the room, and she like, what you doing? And he like, okay, I hear you in here. Gonna put that down and let me tell you what I can do for you. That plastic can't do what the real thing can do. You know what I'm saying? He talked back to you. Y'all they do it buzz. And I think that's where the problem lied in. They let the sex lead their relationship before they actually got to know each other. Yeah, you know the background. Yeah, he been locked up, and she cool people. She do hair. She's struggling. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew that part, but every time you see them, they had the clothes out. Same thing with Andy. Andy is, I don't know. She one of them girls.
The friend that I leave to do what she gonna do, and I'll check back in on her ass in 3 months because I can't no more.
Exactly. Yeah, she one of the ones where you just don't believe that fire. She one of those children where the mom say don't touch the stove, and you just keep touching it, and you keep touching it. And I'm like, he done gave you all these warning shots before he actually fired and aimed the gun towards you. He said tonight that he never lied to her. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. You didn't tell that lady you didn't have no children. You know what I'm saying? Like, you said that you was getting a divorce. Y'all ain't divorced. This lady come strolling in with Perry Mason, talking about some, I'm trying to figure out who been sleeping with my husband, and then come to find out, oh, it's you. It's you. It's you that's been creeping and tipping with my husband. And she looking like, oh my God, this thing finna get me fired. Okay, he takes you off to this secluded place and tell you, hey, I bought this house for you. And nobody never trampled back on that. Like, why he took you all the way out here, and then the GBI, FBI, CBI, and all them letters came out there They ain't even want to give you no ride back to town. You had to walk.
But he ain't never lie.
What is really going? And they done froze your money. What
you
my
just
mama got to do with him?
My account because of whatever, but you ain't never lied. You knew all of this.
I can't get in my apartment, and I'm riding here with a cardboard knife from Sears Roebuck. Cause of you. Then your crazy behind wife come with her friends. They done beat my behind in the parking garage.
It's so much. It's so much.
And you saying you don't know why. He done told you this chick put sugar in my tank. So I had to doggone Ric Flair her and throw her across the thing. Well, what happened? She jumped on me and she just fell over. No. You Ric Flaired her. You desperate her. You know what I'm saying? You threw her across there. That's what you did. And she laid. I'm surprised she wasn't in her whole body cast. She was sitting up there drinking from that IV. Talking about some girl, he crazy. He jealous, he crazy. No, he wouldn't do nothing like that. I stayed up in this house, but he done threw me 7 feet from the ground. I done broke somebody's car.
Oh my God.
And they gonna have to call Jake from Allstate. Ain't no covering from that. Ain't none.
Period. You a whole lie, you a whole menace.
She done drunk some Ensure. She done came and in the house. They got the key from him. He don't know where the key is. And I feel like that was a setup.
He don't know, yeah, but he wasn't at home, so it wasn't a way for, like, it's just lie on lie on lie.
I got to go see my children. What you mean go see children? What children? Where these children come from? Oh, they at their grandmama's house.
Ain't mention them not one time again. Thank you so much for your, first of all, you comedic gold and all of the gems and truth bombs that you dropped. Thank you for being SUBBIE and chatting with me. I freaking love y'all.
You so welcome, girl. You should say that, Jay from Allstate. Yes. Jay from Allstate. Look like,
listen, we're gonna have to top it up again. We're gonna have to talk because we have some real talk, and I love that. Like, that's one of the things I really love about my channel. I feel like I'm different in my commentary because I put real life into it. Yeah. And I try to have a conversation from a real place, and I love when it resonates and we can like have greater conversations with it.
Yeah, cause see, I watch this by myself. And I don't be having nobody to talk to about it. I be talking to the screen and everything like, you stupid. So I enjoyed it. Like last week was my first week on your YouTube. Okay. So well, yeah.
Stay a while. I think you're gonna really love it.
Yes, very much so. So you have a good night.
Thank you, boo. Enjoy the rest of your week.